Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This little video is just quickly regarding the mods that I use in Total War Warhammer 2. You'll notice I'm on my Steam page. That's my name. If you can decipher it, by the way, I may have to start giving people a prize for that. The hint, it's 3 words, all backwards, so have fun with that one. We're just going to get stuck into mods, and most recently, thanks to Ajimuk, again, if I'm killing your name, please just bear with me. He's actually asked, how do we follow the mods that you're using? So I thought, you know what, if there's a video on this, you're welcome to watch it. Otherwise, have a look at mine and I will show you how to play with mods as I do. Now, when I started this process, there is no clear indication that I found to get this done. So maybe I missed all the signs or all the helpful things. Maybe you have too. So we're just going to go step into it. So this is your loader, and you can simply go in here, click on your Total War Warhammer 2, and it will pop you up in this screen. Now I go into the mod manager and I use Kaedrin's mod manager, and his manager says before you do anything you have to click deactivate all. This stops the mods from breaking, and it allows Kaedrin's mod manager to actually do all the heavy lifting. So now that everything's disabled, so there's nothing active, you'll see there's 140 subscribed. Don't worry about it out of date. They still, majority of them still work, and those that didn't work, I've already unsubscribed them. So now we have to exit this, because Kaedrin's mod manager actually uses the same exe file. So we have to quit the game effectively, so it's not running. We have to go into our Total War mod manager for Kaedrin, and again I've got his thing listed in the background. He gives you the GitHub release. He gives you the instructions how to install it, you know, how to create a shortcut. He gives you quite a number of things, and the date sorting. So it does work quite well. And again, as is mentioned, he's going to be doing 2.0 at a later date, in which I'll do another video on that. So Kaedrin's mod manager, the first time you run it, it's going to ask you where the game is, and we simply double click. There's no special permissions you have to give unless you're putting it on your C drive, in which case you have to run it as an administrator, and it does take a fair while to load if you have a lot of mods. So it's physically scanning through the folder, it's doing its own thing to go have a look at it. And the nice thing is, if you've got multiple Total Wars installed, have a look at that. You can get Warhammer 2, 1, Attila, and for those of you going old school, you've got Napoleon, you've got Rome 2. It does support quite a number of them. Now, you can do profiles. So for example, notice how there's no mods selected. I can go to last used mods, and it will automatically select the last known mods that I played with, whether or not I saved them under a profile. So let's have a look. I think this is going to be vampires, and you'll notice that because all the chaos, the dwarfs, all of it's not selected. So this is a nice helpful little thing, and I actually put the profiles online as well, and I've now changed that to move to a Steam list, which I will go through just now. So if you wanted to follow me, for example playing the vampires, you can automatically just click file name, and it will sort it from top to bottom in the order that it requires. Now you'll notice if you select date and you try and press launch, it will actually give you warnings. It will tell you, hey listen, you've not sorted the mods correctly, please go alphabetically and then press launch. You can launch it this way, but certain mods have to be in certain orders, and the mod developers have already made concessions so that when you sort by file name, it will automatically go in the best order. Sometimes not all the mods do that, but for now, the ones that I'm using, they work. So we're going to cancel. We're just going to hit file name, and you'll notice when I press launch, it will boot me into my game. As you can see, it's loaded me in. There is no specific way to see what mods are enabled, not working, broken, without playing a campaign and seeing, oh, oopsie, my Tomb Kings cannot build tier 1 units. Then you have to go through and systematically find out. The only positive side of the mod manager is when you go into a campaign, you notice how they're red. That's because it tells you what mods are missing. It doesn't tell you that the added mods will break the game. It just tells you the original mods required are missing. You can override this, but then again, if the game crashes to desktop, or it just doesn't work, or if stuff's missing, that's because it's telling you what mods are missing. So I'm just going to remove that, so you can't click load at all. You can notice my mouse, it's not going anywhere. We'll just go back to the main menu, and if you've got the mod configuration tool 2.0 installed, it will automatically come up here, and when you click it, it will tell you, yeah, this is the mod configuration tool, and currently it is being written so that more mods will be supported in here, but for now you've got the higher starting capital. You can enable, disable the mod, you can change what tiers you want to start up to, you can finalize some mods so it will automatically save the configuration file, or you can just revert to default and it will automatically set itself back. So same goes for the Mixu's Legendary Lords. You can just set which lord you want on. You can set the performance mode. Now this, all it does is it allows the game to load first and then put the Legendary Lords on top of that. Again, if you've got slow computers, this is the sort of option you'd be using, but for my 12 core Intel, it really flies. And I've got old world Vandy rights, but pretty much this just locks the unit so that you have to run the write to get the unit. So I'm just going to do a quick snippet and we'll be back to Kaedrin's mod manager. Now the Kaedrin's mod manager, you'll notice it's got a config, it's got the zip and Steam APIs. This is just to allow it to actually find the game. When you first put this file on, it does not have, I believe, the API.dll until it finds your game, and then it will put the files in. So if you were struggling, I'm going to give you a quick recap. When you launch Kaedrin's mod manager, it takes a little bit to load. Don't worry, it's not broken. You can launch the game from here. You can refresh your mods if you've just downloaded some mods. You can clean the data so that there's no mods in here and you can drag and drop them in. There is a couple of beta settings, so you can bypass the launcher and bypass conflict detection, and this will automatically, this option will prevent, let me just go over here, will prevent the original load up screen from starting. This will put you straight into the game. The second option, if there's a conflict, for example, two mods right to the same location, Tomb Kings, the units, this will override that so that the mod that's on top of the list gets first priority, and the one that's lower, if it changes anything, has to get permission from the top mod. So very experimental, that's why it's in beta, but it seems to be working. Now there's not a lot else here, except if you wanted to save a list of mods, for example, I go to last used and I want to save this is the vampires, for example. You can simply type vampire and hit save, or if you want to delete one, you can just go delete and it will remove it from the list. So there's a couple of other things. You can toggle all so that all the mods will be enabled. I've got 53 mods enabled for the current vampires. The date, you'll notice, is in blue, which means it's been just updated in the last 7 days. And orange, correct me if I'm wrong, it hasn't been updated within a month. So it's still current, but it's just not updated in quite a while. And then of course white is, somewhere in between, or it doesn't really matter. Now, he gives you a big warning. He says make sure you unselect all mods in the CA mod manager before hitting the launch button. Otherwise all your mods are going to get fugly, crashes to desktop. It's going to be ugly. It's not good. You're welcome to go try it and test drive why he's put this there. The second thing he says, do not change the priorities without reading the troubleshooting guide. Because if you move a mod higher up in the priority, it will override or get higher priority than any mod below it. So for example, if you wanted better borders to go above garrison overhaul, it can, but then that just means it will get loaded before anything else, and anything else below that that changes the borders will not get run, if that makes sense to everyone. So the last thing I will show you is my actual collections that I've moved over to, and this is thanks to Achimuk. Again, he told me that there is it's not working so well when you try and view it as a subscriber, and for myself it worked every time, so I didn't pick up on this issue. So I've moved it over to the collections, which we'll do a quick snippet over. So for those of you just wondering how we get to my collection, you can either search my name, which is Drol Bamid Obo, which is all backwards for something, which if you do describe it or find out what it is, by all means put it in the comments. We simply go to workshop items, and in my collections there it sits. Now you'll notice this is a link to my YouTube channel, so it's got the same logo, or you can search inside workshop items collections and type in the name of my collection and it will automatically come up as well, and it's simply Total War 2 Warhammer, and you don't have to worry about the rest of it. So clicking in, again, happy days. There's my nice nifty little logo that my loving wife created for me. I'm not the let's say I'm just challenged when it comes to the creative department. She's more on that side of things. So the description, it's a work in progress. So as I go through and play a team, I will go and look at mods, investigate them, see if they're broken, if they're not working, and I'll put together a list. So currently, as mentioned, I've got this for orcs, dwarfs, there's tomb kings, there's a couple more for various teams, the vampires, and a whole heap of quality of life ones for various empires. Now I don't have all of them enabled. For example, Radius and the AI limited expansion mods by Jada Win, I don't have them enabled. I've just not got around to testing them. From what he's saying, it caps certain things so you don't get swamped by like 5 unit mobs, so that everything's a bit more fair. But as we get into them, I will actually look into it. And on that note, from here on out, all my videos, whenever I'm talking or discussing a particular mod, if I name it, I will actually go into a bit more depth. For example, if I am doing basilisks, I will show the unit, I will say it's created by Belrock99, and potentially give a link to the description of the actual mod itself. Now along with that, as I play a team, I will update the collections. Hopefully it updates itself in Steam as well, and then you can simply go subscribe to all, go to your mod manager, and it will automatically pop up. And then I've put the profiles online, so you can simply say import and it will give it to you. So for example, profile dwarves, it will put everything in as I have played it. I could go so far as to give you my save, but I mean, that's the whole fun of it is you've got to play yourself. So in my collection, you'll notice it's got 136 items. This is just by the mod developers who've made the mods. So, you know, there's Jada Wen, there's Ondrick. I don't think they're in any particular order. I do have a link to my YouTube channel, so when you open it, it will pop you up. Happy days to Drol's base. It's got my little welcome to channel video, and as I go through, I will make improvements to this. And if you've got helpful criticism, by all means, like Ajimuk, finding certain issues or problems or potential problems, I'm always happy to improve things if you are happy to watch and subscribe. So let me just close this and go back here, and we'll do a final snippet recap, because modding for a lot of us, I'm an engineer, you know, so that maybe puts me in a lower category than the rest of you all, is hard. So to recap, step 1, get Kaedrin's mod manager, which I have already described quite a number of times. Step 2, disable all the mods in the actual CA launcher. I'm not too sure what CA is, but you know, who knows all the little abbreviations. Go into mod manager, deactivate all the mods. It will tell you 42 or whatever's there. Deactivate all of them, just remove them all. Close, and then wherever you installed your Kaedrin's mod manager, double click, and again, if it's on C drive, give it administrator permissions. It is not broken, it just takes a while to load, and while it's loading, remember it is scanning your files, so please, I have not tested it if you are currently downloading mods. Maybe the best idea, finish downloading all your mods, then run the manager. Step 1, if it hasn't found your game, you can automatically say refresh, and it will find the exe so long as it's on Steam. You can then, if you have, for example, taken one of my profiles, for example the dwarfs, you can simply click the profile, sort by file name, and then automatically just press launch. There's no more you have to do. If you were watching my dwarf episode 2 and you said, hey, this looks great, I want to play that, I'm just going to take the link from my channel, import, and then press play. There's nothing else here. If I were to click on a mod by, for example, hey, this guy's put no degradation, what is that? Well, it gives you a little thing, and for example, this is for the Tomb Kings and the Skaven. I can also right click and say show contents, which unless you're a programmer you won't really know what's going on here, or I can say open via Steam or the web browser Steam. So for example, if I open via Steam, it will remove me, put me here, and it will show me what's going on, you know, for example, no degradations, what happens. It gives you a whole heap of things, and you can do this for practically every mod except for Kaedrin's, because Kaedrin's is not in here, just so you're aware. So my list, it's in alphabetical order, and if I press launch, it will automatically put me in the game. You start your team, and again, if you've taken my dwarf profile, play the dwarfs. It doesn't help you play orcs and then say, well, there's no mods, but the dwarfs are actually a heck of a lot harder. That's because all these mods focuses around the dwarfs. You'll notice that there is 2 movies enabled. You do get mods that removes the loading screen intros or things like that, and then this will say 0, or if a mod has a movie, it might say 3. If you are happy with the list of mods, or you decide I want to add some things for the Tomb Kings because my dwarfs are going to go try and take the Tomb Kings out, you can enable them and then save your profile as, you know, dwarfs v Tomb Kings, and once you press save, launch, it will automatically put you under the last used mods as well. So again, if you got any queries or questions, by all means give me a, let me just put me back to here. So just to recap, if you go into my YouTube series, Drol's Base, I have played Total War Warhammer 2 with mods. I have the mod list in my workshop collections, so it's either under my name, which is Drol Bemed Obo, or you can just search Total War 2 Warhammer collection of mods. It will automatically come up. It's also in my list. It will send you here, and then you can see all my subscribed items. Now for me, all of them are ticked as subscribed, but for you they will all be unsubscribed, just for FYI. Thanks for watching this little video, and if you have further queries on mods, by all means let me know. I'm happy to make some key videos to particular mods if you want that. But as always, thanks for watching this video, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe.